Hey guys, how are we doing today? You probably can't answer me, I can't hear you. I'm going to be doing a video that's slightly different from what I usually post, and I'm sorry for not posting so much, but I've been very busy. Once again, there have been gigs, I've just been very busy, I haven't had the time to record anything. This one is going to be slightly different from my regular videos because it's going to be more of a, I don't know, haul you would call it. I know that for makeup they call it hauls. I don't use makeup. My fiance watches a lot of those makeup haul videos, so that's why I know that it's a haul. So we'll call it a musician's haul. And the irresponsible purchases I bought during the Thanksgiving or Black Friday sales. I bought a couple things that I don't need, but I just felt like I should get them. I've been very skeptical of buying anything from Seismic Audio. I never bought anything, and they were very low prices on everything. They have very low prices on everything. They're very affordable, and I've always been skeptical because I don't know, cheap stuff usually ends up being not so good. But anyways, I ended up buying a pair of these speakers. So they are let me see in the back, I haven't done my homework on them, they're called the SA 110 or 100T. So there are two 10-inch woofers and a tweeter. So I bought a pair of these. I paid him $150 over the Black Friday sale. They came along with two of these 25-foot speed-con cables, and yeah, bought them for that price. First item that I bought from Seismic Audio, and I'm very impressed actually. They're very clear sounding. They're not all that deep, so given they are only 10-inch woofers, but they're not very deep at all. But the clarity of the horn that they have is ridiculous. I actually had the opportunity to work with some Seismic Audio line arrays over the past week, and they sound amazing. I worked with JBL line arrays before, and they were just as good, maybe slightly edge goes to the JBL, but those line arrays were good. So if you're looking to buy line arrays, go to Seismic Audio, and I think that they were like maybe a couple grand for that line array system without the amplifiers and everything. But yeah, so if you're looking for line arrays, buy them from Seismic Audio. I doubt that you're going to be watching my videos if you're looking to buy a line array. Anyways, so I'm going to give you a closer look into both the wires that I bought and the speakers themselves, what the inputs and etc. looks like. I also ended up from Seismic Audio buying 80 feet of 1/4-inch wire. I ended up paying $8 for 80 feet, so it came about, what, 10 cents a foot, which was a very good price. I didn't need 80 feet of cable, but hey, why not? You know, it's cheap. So yeah, let me grab the camera and let me get a closer look. Actually, let me explain a little more what's cool about it. Okay, so they're pretty tall. They're about 35 inches, I believe. They're 300 watts peak. I don't know what the SPL on them is because I've not done my homework on them. Once again, this was an impulse buy that I bought. The inputs on the back, I'll get a closer look at them, but they have the speed-con inputs and the 1/4-inch inputs, and then they can be more pole mounted, even though they're very tall. So they look very awkward on the speaker stands when you put them on there, because they're so tall. But they do have speaker stand inserts. Then they have these little legs, so you can put them on solid ground, and they'll sit there without any problem. I have not had the opportunity to gig with them yet, so I don't know how they will be long run. But so far they sound very good, and that's about it. That's all I can say about them. So let me grab the camera and give you a closer look to the inputs, and then I'll give you a closer look at the cables, and I'll talk about the cables a little bit. Actually, here, I'll plug it in. Alright, so this is what the back looks like. Once again, as I said, the speak-on inputs and then the 1/4 inch inputs. It says that it's 300 watts at 4 ohms. And now about these cables. Okay, so they're 12 gauge cables. They're pretty decent. They're nice and thick. But from your standard speak-on cable, they differ a little bit. So they fit into this speaker perfectly. Like, there is no problem about putting them in there and taking them out. But once I put it inside of my, or once I try to connect it to my amplifier, and I use my QSC amplifier, this was a little rough to put in and get back out. It got like stuck. I don't know why. Guess these inserts are slightly different from like standard ones. But yeah, that's the only problem that I had with them. And that's about it as far as these go. I also have over here in the studio, since I'm already recording, I have a new mixer, the Xenix, I guess that's what you would call it, from Behringer X1622. And yeah, so that mixer, I have not been able, have not had the opportunity to gig with it either. This is all rather new in the last 2 weeks that I got it, and the last 2 gigs that I had, I didn't have to bring my stuff. It was club events, so all I had to bring is my mixer, my controller, and my laptop, and my MIDI controller over here. So I have not had the opportunity to gig with it once again, but I'm not too impressed with it so far. Maybe I need to tinker with it a little more so that I can get used to it and figure it out. But there is a problem that I've had with it because it's a high overhead mixer. So I would assume that I don't need to like turn it up all that much for it to have a significant output. But I've been having to, unless I'm right here on these mains, the output on them is not that great. So even though it's a high overhead mixer, I only am comfortable right about here. So if anybody else has a better input to comment on it and to let me know how to work this, I would highly appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it for the new hauls. I was adjusting my microphones the other night and they're just right there. Oh, this is also new, the Akai LPD8. I bought that to use it with Serato. I don't know why. This is a much better investment, in my opinion, if you're gonna use Serato only if you're not gonna produce music. Go ahead and buy yourself dicers rather than this. So yeah, it's easier. Dicers are already mapped out for Serato. Not only are they mapped out, but they're even easier to map, and they're more functional in my opinion rather than the Akai. The Akai has 4 different programs, but problem with it is these don't change programs right here. I don't know. So far I've been only able to map out the pad option. I don't know if anybody got a better map for that as well, let me know. And that's about it. That's all the new stuff. Oh, my old mixer. This was a good mixer. Thank you all for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. My followers or my subscribers have grown significantly, and I want to thank you all for that. Do expect maybe 2 videos within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks.